ready for a deep dive today into something kind of different?
Definitely.
It's shower recycling.
Shower recycling.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about, like, imagine using the water from your shower again.
Oh.
Not just, like, down the drain.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's really interesting stuff. And it really kind of gets at this idea of, like, saving water and saving money, right?
Yeah. And, we're all thinking about this more and more these days with climate change and everything. Like,
Totally. Go.
how can we reduce our footprint? And this is one of those things, like, we just kind of turn on the shower and water's just flowing.
You take it for granted.
Yeah.
It's like, especially clean water, right?
Exactly.
It's a precious resource.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at this guy, Ezra's work.
Okay.
He's the one who kind of came up with this whole system.
Cool.
And his spark of inspiration was literally watching shower water go down the drain
Really?
and thinking, man, there's got to be a better way.
It's so interesting how these, like, simple observations can lead to such, like,
Totally.
profound innovations.
Oh, yeah, just that, like, aha.
Yeah, man.
Exactly. So his system basically has four main parts. We've got a siphon, a filtration unit, a manual air pump, and get this, a solar reflector oven.
What?
I know, right?
That's wild.
Sounds a little out there,
Yeah.
but we're going to break it down.
Dun,
So
dun.
first up is the siphon. So you know how, like, when you use a straw to get the last bit of a milkshake?
Yeah.
It's kind of that same idea.
Oh.
Uses gravity to move the water from the drain to, like, another container.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah. No pumps or anything, just physics doing its thing.
I love that.
Right.
Elegant and simple.
Okay, now the filtration unit. This is the one where I was like, really?
What is it?
He uses a sponge.
A sponge.
A sponge. Like a regular everyday sponge.
Hmm.
But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know those old school water filters, like if you're camping or whatever?
Right.
They use sand and gravel, right?
Yeah.
Which is basically
Same.
kind of the same idea as a sponge when you think about it.
It's all about those little tiny pores.
Right, exactly.
Trapping the stuff you don't want in there.
And this is where, like, obviously keeping it clean is really important.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Changing out the sponge, like you would with any kind of filter.
Yeah.
Safety first.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got the siphon, we've got the sponge situation.
Yeah.
Now we've got the manual air pump.
Okay.
Think like a bike pump.
Oh,
But
thanks.
instead of for your tires, it's for,
For the water.
moving the water along.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you're getting a little workout in too.
Yeah. There you go. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So yeah, pretty low tech so far.
I like it. Like, elegant.
Right.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the siphon, the sponge, the bike pump, and now for the grand finale,
The pièce de résistance.
the solar reflector oven. I know. It's like, hold on, what?
It sounds a little out there. Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so picture this. You've got this, like, container,
Yeah.
right? And then, like, a shiny surface reflecting sunlight onto it to heat the water.
Yeah, like a magnifying glass, but for,
Exactly.
good for your shower.
Yeah.
Not ants.
Not ants, exactly. So smart, right? Just using what's already there.
Free energy.
Free energy. And this is where it kind of clicked for me. I was like, oh, it's like those solar ovens,
Totally.
the ones people use for camping.
Yeah, yeah.
Same principle. But then I thought, okay, what happens when it's, cloudy? Nobody wants a cold shower.
Right. Yeah, good point. And Ezra actually addresses that in his notes. So the way it works, even if there's no sun, you can still use the shower.
Okay.
The other parts, like the siphon and the sponge, still work.
Gotcha.
It's just that the water won't be heated by the sun.
Makes sense.
But, still saves water, which is...
Still win. It's like, yeah, a built-in backup plan for your shower.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty cool. But I'm also thinking, like, what if there were other ways to heat the water on those cloudy days? Something more efficient maybe.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's what's so cool about this. It kind of gets you thinking,
Right.
like, what else could we do,
It's like a jumping off point.
Exactly.
And it's really what makes this whole thing so interesting,
Yeah.
It's not just about, like, the shower itself.
Yeah.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah, totally. It's about, like, how we think about the resources we use every day
Totally.
and, how we can be more mindful and
Sustainable.
Yeah.
Like, this could be applied to so many other things,
Right.
It's really about changing our mindset.
And like you were saying, it doesn't have to be complicated.
Exactly.
Like Ezra's system, it's all very, like,
Low tech.
low tech. You could totally DIY this thing,
Totally. And I think that's what's so inspiring about it. It's
Yeah.
like anyone can make a difference.
Ah.
You don't need a lab or $1 million.
Ah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get too, like, philosophical here or
I mean,
anything.
right, of course.
You got to talk about the practical stuff, too.
Okay, yeah.
Like, one of the things that Ezra really highlights is, like, how much money this could save people.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Less water used equals
Smaller water bills.
smaller water bill.
Yeah.
It's like good for the planet and good for your wallet.
Win-win.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Right.
I feel like more and more these days, like, people are looking for ways to,
Save a buck.
save a buck. Exactly. So it's like, this is kind of a no-brainer,
Yeah, and I think it also just gives you a sense of, like, agency, you know?
Oh, totally.
Like you're doing something.
Like you're not just, like, standing by.
Yeah. Like you're actively participating in making a difference and, like,
Taking control.
yeah, exactly.
I love that.
It's empowering.
It is empowering. And I think it also speaks to this bigger idea of, like, small changes, big impact.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like we don't have to wait for, like, the government or corporations to solve all the problems.
Right.
We can start ourselves, in our own homes.
Absolutely.
And that's really what I think is so cool about Ezra's work. It's like he's not just, inventing something.
Right.
He's starting a conversation.
Exactly.
And getting people thinking differently.
Yeah, and I think that's key,
It's like
And
a ripple effect.
it is.
It, like,
yeah.
starts with this one idea.
Yeah, the shower.
And then it can branch out to, like, all these other areas of our lives.
And you never know who you might inspire, right? Like someone might hear this and then
Yeah.
they come up with some whole other, even better idea.
Exactly. Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, the takeaway here is don't underestimate the power of a shower.
I love it.
It really makes you realize, like, we all have the potential to be in Mahers,
Totally. It's just about tapping into that curiosity and that, like, desire to make things better.
Absolutely. And not being afraid to, like, get your hands dirty, literally in this case.
Right. Who knew a sponge could be so high tech?
This is true. This is true. But, okay. I think we pretty much covered Ezra's shower system. Any last thoughts on this thing?
I think the biggest takeaway for me is that it's not really about the shower, It's about the way we think about problems and solutions.
Totally. Like, we get so stuck in our routines,
Exactly. We just assume things have to be a certain way.
And then someone like Ezra comes along and it's like, wait a minute.
Boom. New perspective.
Exactly. And suddenly the possibilities are endless.
So, to everyone listening, next time you're doing something, anything, just take a second and ask yourself.
Can I do this better?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Could I be using less water, less energy? Is there a more sustainable way?
Love it. Okay. On that note, I think we're going to wrap up this deep dive.
Until next time.
Keep those showers sustainable, everyone.